Whether it's beading or an ornate trim, a little textured fondant, it goes a long way, as you can see, and it's a technique you can try out in your own kitchen. We've got Betheny Tomseth from The Cake Happens. She's here to show us how the pros do this, and this technique is something that is beautiful, and it's one that you used at Roots Tech.
Yes.
At the competition.
Yes, that was such a fun competition. It was, the whole experience was fantastic.
Okay, and how was it to meet the cake boss himself?
He was amazing. He was so genuine. He was so kind. He made sure to get pictures with everybody, all the participants, and he was just so wonderful. He was so kind.
Okay, now let's take a look at this cake here. What's the specific name for this type of texturing that we're seeing?
You know what? I don't even know, because what happened was I went to the store, to Hobby Lobby, and I looked in their cake section. They have a candy section as well, and I grabbed a candy mold. So it's basically like textured fondant, really. And you can use a lot of molds. I used a lot of molds on this competition cake here. All that stuff that you're seeing in the front, all the beading, that's all molding. But this one, and you do that with silicone molds, like specific for cake.
Okay.
This one was just a candy mold, and I thought that would make a really cool texture, and it did. It was so fun.
And so fondant is something that can be used in candy molds as well. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be in a cake mold. That's amazing news.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in. And how do we start this process?
Okay, so you want to make sure that you kind of just dust it a little bit with some cornstarch so that it doesn't kind of stick in the mold or pull and tear when you pull it out.
Okay.
And then I have some fondant here, and I've kind of rolled it just a little bit flat, not too flat, because you want to be able to have enough fondant to get down in those grooves.
Now, is there anything specific about this fondant? Is there a type we need to get, or is it really any fondant's going to work?
Any fondant. Some fondants are a little more wet than others, and so you need to use a little more cornstarch in that case. So I just put a little bit of cornstarch on top, and then I'm going to take my small rolling pin and just press really hard into that mold. And make sure you're not going back and forth too much, because what will happen is it'll lift up the fondant, and then when it lays back down, it gets like lines in it where it shouldn't be.
It won't have that flawless finish on it.
Yes, exactly.
Now, with this roller, if somebody doesn't have a small roller, what can they use in substitution of, or do you need that?
A large rolling pin is fine. Like a house rolling pin is fine. This is just, I just like this rolling pin better.
Makes it a lot easier,
the smaller one, it's just more compact, and I think it has more distribution, like even distribution throughout the whole mold here.
Okay.
And it's not going to break your mold.
Okay, and then we cut off the excess.
Mold. I cut off the excess with an X-Acto knife, a clean, new, sharp X-Acto knife. You need it really, really sharp. So that's what it looks like when it comes out. Isn't that awesome?
Look at that.
It's so fun. And then, so we take your X-Acto knife, and you're just going to trim away all the excess, you know, and make it really, really clean, okay? So you do that along the whole thing. And on this, there's a flat side here, and that side is gonna go at the bottom of the cake. This side is more where you're gonna piece it together here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it works as kind of a puzzle edge.
Exactly, exactly. So I have a trimmed piece already here. And I'll lift that up, and all you do is you just stick it right on the cake. Now I already have some on the cake here, so I'm gonna show you kind of how to piece it together a little bit. It's a little bit of a puzzle. So you just place it there, and sometimes, yep, that'll come off. And it's okay, because you can just piece it all together.
Yeah, what's nice about this is if it falls apart, that's okay.
It doesn't even matter.
It back together.
Yep,
and is
you
there
just take
anything
out,
in particular you need to use to stick it to the, or does it just stick on its own?
It just sticks right to the buttercream.
Okay.
See how all the pieces just fit right together, just like that. And if a piece kind of overlaps, you just either pull it off like I did, or cut it off and make a nice clean match there. And then just keep piecing it together, and then it looks beautiful. And then afterwards, we're going to gild it in gold.
Okay, and what does that mean specifically?
So this gold right here, you can buy edible gold on Amazon, and you just put it right on. You just get it wet right where you're going to want the gold here, just like this, and then you're going to place your gold on. You have a dry brush here, and then you just pat the gold on, and it makes that beautiful, beautiful finish.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Nice. Now, with this fondant, you have all of the same color, but if you wanted to just get crazy on us, could you mix, do different color patterns, or is that weird to do?
You could. It'd be a lot more cutting out, but it would be really, really cool, actually.
Okay.
It'd be really cool. And then just to top it off, you can use some sugar flowers or fresh flowers. I have two options here. I've got some sugar flowers here, but then just go to your florist, and she'll help you kind of put something together. Just stick right on top of your cake, and it's beautiful.
Okay, and then what about some of the other fun embellishments that you have on top? Is that special stuff we shouldn't touch tried to do yet? Just master this first, or is this something that, for me, I just need to master this part first, but for those taking it the next step up.
Yeah, so master this first. The sugar flowers are a lot more involved. You need a lot more tools. It's completely doable. You can absolutely do it. I learned by watching a lot of YouTube videos, and so I'm gonna start getting out some of the YouTube videos specifically for these flowers that I used in the competition cake. So that'll be really fun. I did some fun succulents and some other fun ones that I haven't seen videos for. I just kind of made them up, and so that'll be really fun to see coming out.
Okay, and then I just have to ask, what's this little guy right here? What's that for?
Thank you. This little guy is just your topper. So after you've got this all up here, and once you get a panel that goes all the way up to the top, you're just gonna take your X-Acto knife and you're gonna slice all the way up to the top, and then you take all the excess off of there, and then you roll out a piece of fondant, you cut it in a circle, you put it on top, and then you take your X-Acto knife again, and you're just gonna do this and make sure that it fits right on top of your textured pieces there.
And my instinct would be to put that on and push it down, but you didn't do that. You just lightly put it on.
Yeah, you can do that. You can kind of rub it like this and make sure it sticks really well. I don't want to mess it up if I just go and then smush it on there. Yeah, and then you just trim it really nicely once that texture fondant is all the way at the top, and then you stick on your flowers after that. It's really, really easy.
What a beautiful creation and a fun way to kind of jazz up that look and take your cake to the next level.
Thanks, it's awesome.
All right, where can people go to? You mentioned your YouTube page to kind of see your tutorials and get more information on this.
Hey, so go to YouTube, go to Cake Happens on YouTube, and that's where you'll find all my tutorials, and then there's some fun stuff on my Instagram as well.
All right, thank you so much, Bethany. What a fun idea and a great way to try something new this spring.